Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bruh.
Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring hopes. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
I am still looking at stuff and I still feel a little lost. Welcome, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh, my goodness. My mic is all over the place. Hopefully it doesn't fall on me. Shout out to everybody. How is everybody doing? Good morning. Good afternoon. It is March 18th and Baby Bunny is in and out because, you know, the sitter's doing the most today. Today we're disappointed with the sitter. It's all good, though. So she'll be in and out. But give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to open this and I can't. Technical difficulties. Should have had everything ready. How's everybody doing? Shout out to everybody. Hold up, y'all. Give me 1 second. I gotta open this. Hold up, Mama Bear. Okay. Hold up. Here we go. This is taking forever. You have to do it though, okay? Okay. Figure it out. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Ooh, giving the people some time to get in here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. How are you guys doing? Oh, my goodness. Shout out to everybody. Hi, Runway Beauty. Welcome. So we have so much we definitely have a lot to get into today. Oh, my goodness. And shout out to everybody that's joining us all over the world. No, I'm late, 9-1 Darby. I'm really late. I had to push back. I was looking at some other things and my attention was being over here. Y'all know I am ADHD and unmedicated. Forgive me. So I go all over the place. But I hope you guys are doing well. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Y'all don't have to, and you do. You are what? Well, everybody's talking about this Afro Man. I saw BJ did a video, but I haven't watched it yet. I don't even feel like I really understand what's going on with Afro Man. But y'all let me know in the comments, like if it's interesting or what. Let me know. Welcome, Rihanna, member for 28 months. Thank you, love. Shout out to you for supporting the channel, y'all. Thank you. Shout out to you. 28 months is a long, long time. Shout out to you. I don't know, but this is not the channel for pound cake. Shout out to you. Anyways, welcome. All right, so let's get into it. We gonna really rush at least one of the topics that we have up here that we have to talk about and really get into. Let's talk about these Bank of America settles with Epstein. Now, y'all know that this whole little Epstein situation, you guys know that there has been like all these banks and whatnot involved and, you know, secret accounts and all this stuff that's been going on. So Bank of America settles claims over lawsuits by Jeffrey Epstein victims. So again, the Bank of America has tentatively settled a lawsuit claiming it ignored suspicious financial transactions involving Jeffrey Epstein while he was when he was essaying hundreds of girls and women. The proposed settlement was revealed in filings in a Manhattan federal courtroom on Monday, the same day that the billionaire Leon Black was originally scheduled to be deposed in the case. Terms were not disclosed. The bank declined to comment through a spokesperson. So why are these people allowed to settle and everything? Like there's got to be something to be said about these institutions that knew and aided and, did things to kind of move things around with folks. I don't want to give you my email. And that's really the question. Like, why are they allowed? Why can't they lose something? I don't know, man. It seems like people just kind of tend to get away with it. Is it just me, or is it just like a thing? Like, it's okay, it's a bank. It's okay. It's all good.
Charlotte-based bank is settling a proposed class action lawsuit on behalf of victims of Jeffrey Epstein. According to court records, Bank of America was accused of aiding the now dead pedophile sex trafficking ring. Details of the settlement are set to be filed with the court later this month. The bank has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. Of course, we're going to bring in our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, who joins us now. So let's just start with the basics. What exactly is this lawsuit accusing Bank of America of doing?
It's accusing Bank of America of actively concealing details and of evidence concerning its assisting and facilitating Epstein's sex trafficking. That's what the lawsuit says in its nutshell. Epstein scheme.
And it wasn't just Bank of America. There's been other facilities. I did fast forward it quickly, but we're going to go to 1.2 to get to where we need to go. So there's been others. This isn't the only one. Okay.
Would not have been possible is what they allege without the help of powerful individuals, and some of those individuals in institutions they believe are connected to Bank of America.
So it's pretty rare for banks to be pulled into a criminal case like this. What is the legal argument here?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it is rare, and two, it isn't. I mean, they've already filed and settled lawsuits with JP Morgan. They have lawsuits with a number of other banks alleging the same exact things. I mean, it's just that money was being transferred, specifically 170 million was being transferred to Epstein from Bank of America accounts. They're saying that Bank of America should have flagged, should have notified, should have at least recognized that these transactions were connected to some type of trafficking, as you mentioned in the intro.
And what is the bank's measure to determine that now? I mean, I don't know how banks work. I mean, there's got to be something that allows them to flag like really crazy activity within their banks, to say like this money, suddenly this person, like James, the reality is that banks do not care. They don't care. They don't care. That's the reality of it. This is why you have criminals and individuals and Pedialites and the elites and the lizard people. All these people are able to move around, slimy and, being sneaky and doing and moving money around and doing different things without getting caught.
Bank of America is saying, listen, we admit no wrongdoing, but when you're in the room making that determination on if this is a case that you're going to settle or you're going to go to trial with, you got a couple of variables. First of all, you're talking about Epstein. Nobody wants to be connected to that. The other thing you're talking about is what does it cost to continue to go forward? And then you say, well, what do the recent outcomes for these type of cases look like? And I mentioned $290 million settlement already related to that. So you already know what the ceiling and the floor is. Do we want to spend more money litigating, or do we want to just pay this?
Yeah, and that was my next question. Of course, the bank agreeing to settle. That doesn't necessarily indicate any wrongdoing.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. If I'm representing Bank of America, we're not signing a settlement agreement that says any type of wrongdoing. The settlement agreement is only going to say, hey, this is settled between both parties and we're no longer going forward. And it will.
Wait. So, and I know that this is a thing, right? Like settlement is no wrongdoing. But to me, the way I see it is like, it's the simple fact that it's like evident that, there's something to be said there, that it's not like you could just walk out of the court and be like, well, I didn't. There's nothing to see here. I don't know, kind of hard to I just know Bank of America is not my bank. For the longest time, I used to bank with Wells Fargo, and, they're fraudulent as well. So, kind of got out of that relationship many years ago. So, yeah, there's that.
Explicitly say, if I'm representing them, that we admit no wrongdoing, because then we might as well go to trial and let the chips fall where they fall. I mean, but had this settlement not occurred, this class action suit would have went forward, and the damages could have been, any number.
And as you mentioned, I mean, this is not the first bank to be looked into or have a lawsuit filed against. But what does this say about how courts are looking into the roles that banks play?
I mean, I think it's, first of all, you got plaintiffs. We're a litigious society, so they're always trying to find who is the largest person or entity that I can sue. I mean, that's something they tell you in law school. Figure out who has the largest suspicious pot that's connected to your incident,
Right.
and then go after them. This says that there are lawyers out there that are trying to find ways to connect them, and they're testing the waters to see if courts, juries are able to follow their argument. And right now they have been extremely successful because this is the exact same firm. So this isn't like some other firm. These folks have specialized in doing this for the last few years, at least from 2023. And so they have 3 years worth of knowledge to understand what we need to do, what we need to prove, at least how to get them to the table.
And records, don't forget that. Yeah, I only I went from Wells Fargo to then I moved to a credit union. It's very convenient. I'm impatient with the credit. I'm impatient with my credit union because one thing I don't like is I don't like going to the bank and doing small talk, and that's all they do. And I'm just like, they should know me by now. I don't like to talk. Give me my money and let's go. I'm nervous around money and stuff like that. But I don't know. I was in banking for 15 years. It's impossible for a bank to monitor every single transaction a client does. I worked for Bank of America for 8 years. Abraham, what happens? Like, let's just say that that's the case, right? But I do wonder, what measures do they have in place to make sure they ensure that people, like if there's some kind of criminal, I don't know, activity or deposits or anything like that, how do people flag this? Like there has to be, is there any kind of like training or anything like that in place to have people understand that, like, you know, they're really looking out for this and they're keeping an eye out and this type of situation? I do wonder about this. I mean, y'all let me know. But anything to flag anything that might be deemed like illegal,
Given the fact that
funneling of monies, I don't know.
multiple banks now have been kind of brought into the courtroom, is this setting a new precedent that banks need to maybe have more oversight?
I mean, for sure that they're making sure that individuals that are in these positions of power, institutions or private individuals, are aware of what's going on around them. Yes, that if I'm in the risk management department, I'm saying, do we have a team that's looking and trying to flag these types of transactions? Because if not, it's going to cost us at least a few $100 million.
All right, Khalif, thank you.
Queen City News Plus.
You said I used the bank of mattress money. Lord have mercy, mattress money. Oh my God. Shout out to y'all guys. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, please, and thank you. Credit unions are the best. Yeah. They're a little frustrating sometimes, but see, that's just my credit union. I don't know. You use the Bank of Cash App. Yeah, it's I have a Cash App too, so it's very convenient, you know. But credit union is definitely like my go-to. You know, it's what I bank with now. There's that. Oh, so this news right here, Lord have mercy. I am still kind of like, what is going on? Shout out to Belen. Shout out to Vicky, who gave me the heads up about this news. And let me just say, am I surprised? No. By Cesar Chavez? No. I'm not. And that's just the reality of it. I'm not. Okay, so let's get into this news, but y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I feel kind of bad saying that. It's just because, you know, we've kind of approached this era of like, you know, people being exposed, people that are in positions of, you know, activism, leadership and whatnot, where, you know, information comes out. Now, you know, he is gone. He's no longer here, right? So you kind of take these allegations and you have to kind of measure, all right, well, what do we make of this? What do we do of this? It doesn't mean that they didn't occur. It means that, you know, just like anything else. All right. So let's get into this. Now, I did pull up the New York Times. Cesar Chavez, a civil rights icon, is accused of abusing girls for years. Okay. And one of them, I believe, came out, and she actually came out on, before I get into this, she came out on Facebook. And this was written today. So I think it's maybe appropriate to kind of maybe read this one here before we head into the others. Today's civil rights leader, Dolores Huerta, is issued the following statement. I am nearly 96 years old, and for the last 60 years have kept a secret because I believe that exposing the truth would hurt the farm workers movement. I have spent my entire life fighting for. I have encouraged people to always use their voice following the New York Times multi-year investigation into the sexual misconduct by Cesar Chavez. I can no longer stay silent and must share my own experience. As a young mother in the 1960s, I've experienced 2 separate sexual encounters with Cesar. The first, I was manipulated and pressured into having S with him. And I didn't feel that I could say no because he was someone that I admire, my boss and the leader of the movement. that I had already devoted years of my life to. A second time, I was forced against my will and in an environment where I felt trapped. I had experienced abuse and violence before, and I convinced myself these were incidences that I had to endure alone and in secret. Both encounters with Cesar led to pregnancies. I chose to keep my pregnancy secret. And after the children were born, I arranged for them to be raised by other families that could give them stable lives. Oh my God. Over the years, I have been fortunate to develop a deep relationship with these children who are now close to my other children, their siblings. But even then, no one knew the full truth about how they were conceived until just a few weeks ago. I carried these secrets for as long as I did because building the movement and securing farmers' worker rights was my life's work. The formation of a union was the only vehicle to accomplish and secure those rights, and I wasn't going to let Cesar or anyone else get in the way. I channeled everything I had into advocating on behalf of millions of farm workers and others who were suffering and deserved equal rights. I have never identified myself as a victim, but I understand that I'm a survivor of violence, of of domineering men who saw me and other women as property or things to control. I'm telling my story because the New York Times has indicated that I was not the only one. There were others, women coming forward, sharing that they were essayed, and I have to be careful, y'all. I can't see and read everything, y'all. Give me 1 second. Oh, this is like too much. She's in the other room with the sitter, y'all. Whew. I'm telling my story because the New York Times has indicated that I'm not the only one. There were others. Women are coming forward, sharing that they were essayed and asked by Cesar when they were girls and teenagers. The knowledge that he hurt young women sickens me. My heart aches for everyone who suffered alone and in silence for years. There was no word strong enough to condemn those deplorable acts that he did. Cesar's actions do not reflect the values of the community and the movement. The farm worker movement, had always been a bigger and far more important than any individual Cesar's action. Than any one individual Cesar's action do not diminish the permanent movement achieved by farm workers. With the help of thousands of people, we must continue to engage and support our community, which needs advocacy, activism, now more than ever. I will continue my commitment to workers as well as my commitment to women's rights to make sure that they have a voice and our communities are treated with dignity and given the equity that they have so long been denied. I have kept this secret long enough. My silence ends here. Wow. If you are a survivor and if you have been impacted by any type of violence, please visit the Dolores Huertas Foundation website where you will find a list of resources for support. Okay, so I'm going to put the link to her resources in the chat and description box when this live ends. Okay. So this is her story. Just so people are aware, I think it's important to tell it. The New York Times apparently is also sharing other stories, other cases of Cesar Chavez abuse girls, art fellow labor icon Dolores Huerta, and newspapers investigating. So again, Cesar Chavez passed away in 1993. But there are other women that are now speaking out about the abuses that, Cesar Chavez did while he was in that position. This is like a wow to me, like, wow. He manipulated, it says here, and I'm only going to highlight some of the article because I just read Dolores Huerta's statement on Facebook, but the article is available He manipulated and pressured into having S with him, she said, and felt that she couldn't say anything because he was her boss and her leader. This is what Dolores said. Apparently, there are 2 children that are now adults, and they are connected with the other siblings that came out of this situation too. Okay. The paper reported that a handful of Chavez's relatives and former farm workers leaders have been aware of allegations of S misconduct for years, but found no evidence or made any efforts to investigate against him or acknowledge the victims. This is really sad. And the victims, because they were in this, movement, they stayed quiet. Her children's had DNA tests done to prove he was the father. There you go. So it's very disappointing and very heartbreaking, guys. But people are kind of like, they see this really great movement happening, and then they stay silent while they're suffering through abuse to make this movement happening. And it's kind of like, okay, like if you speak out, you can ruin the movement, but yet and still the movement is being like pushed through these means, and there's nothing good that can happen out of this, right? Cesar Chavez's legacy has increasingly become tarnished over the years as the years went on. Labor victories became fewer and fewer. His fierce criticism of illegal immigration, Chavez argued that they undercut his unionization efforts, put him at odds with immigration activists, how dozens of former associates and workers left the UFW because of what they described as Chavez's increasingly concerning ways. So, I don't know what is, this revelation, I think it's huge. And the New York Times has taken it upon themselves to reveal much of this and everything. But this is what they call whispers within the movements, that for decades there have been misconducts and people have not done anything, and people stayed quiet, and, children were had out of this, out of abuse. Okay. And a lot of people stay quiet. And these women are owed much, okay? Especially being the movers and shakers of change and whatnot. I'm wow. I don't know. You said, my GF and I have been following the files, and they're insane. I really feel for victims involved. You talk about the Epstein files. There's no such thing as a movement if it requires the silence of victims. Otherwise, it's just PR, period, Yanni. Say that louder. And that's the thing, is like, there's always something that comes out of something, right? So if there is silence, and if other people have to stay silent so other people can be abused, like, no, it's just not, it's not okay. It needs to be called out. And I'm glad that things are being reported, but for those that are still alive and stayed quiet, how do you get justice from a situation like that? The UFW has learned of deeply troubling allegations. One of the union's co-founders, Cesar Chavez, behaved in ways that are incompatible with our union's values. I'm sure a lot of people knew and didn't say anything. Some of these reports are family issues and not our stories to tell or our places to comment. Far more troubling are allegations involving of abuse of minor women or young women and minors, allegations that very young women or girls have been victimized or crushing. The UFW says it does not have firsthand knowledge. The UFW says it does not have firsthand knowledge. Girl, yeah, okay. Of any allegations, and has not directly received reports of what they may be. Okay. However, the allegations are serious enough that we feel compelled to take urgent steps to learn more and provide space for people who may have been victimized to find support and share their stories if that is what they choose to do. I swear, some of these unions, it's like, okay. News of the allegations comes just weeks before the state across the country are set to observe Cesar Chavez Day on March 31st. In recent days, cities including San Antonio have canceled events honoring Cesar Chavez. Both Cesar Chavez Foundation and the United Farmers Workers have released statements. Okay. Thoughts, opinions? Y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. That's why you shouldn't marry two leaders and stuff like that. You got to be careful, you know? Period. In some cases, remaining silent equals culpability. That's right. You said they're pulling out of having a parade and celebrations on March 31st. Well, what do you guys think? I mean, like, yeah, it's a lot of inaction. And here you have people that it's a simple fact that people, you know, these women that have been pioneers as well, Dolores Huerta and many others, have felt like they had to be quiet because they didn't want to ruin the movement. Then makes you question, how many movements do we have out there where people have had to be quiet to not ruin the movement and, you know, for pioneering change while they're actively being abused in this movement. Something doesn't match, right? Like you can't do that. Defeats the purpose of a movement, right? Thank you. Defeats the purpose of a movement. Dolores 96 years old. Oh, I closed out. I think she's 96 years old. She's able to speak on this. Period. Thank you. She's 95. I thought I said maybe I read y'all like I need to get my eyes checked, please. Thank you. She's 95. It's just sad. I do wonder if there's going to be anything that comes out of that as far as filings or anything. So we'll definitely be following up and whatnot. Yeah, you are conditioned to stay quiet, but most movements are created to what? To affect change, to do something different. How can you affect change and do something different while you're actively staying quiet about abuse? And even that statement, it's trash. It's like, y'all really did not know. People did not know. Bullshit. You know, especially the farmers, the farmer workers and all that other stuff. I'll never forget, many years ago, there was this really great PBS documentary. And I can't remember, my God, it was many years ago. And it talked about the workers, the office workers, you know, like when your trash is emptied out, some of these women were being abused. And, you know, they would, when the office is closed, they go out and they clean and everything. And then there was like all kinds of reports of like women being raped while this was happening and everything, and people weren't doing anything about it. And so it's like these kinds of like professions where, whether it's, you know, farmers or cleaning offices, whatever it may be, man, like what the hell? You know, we need people to work together to bring awareness to this, but people will stay quiet. They know what's happening. They just don't say anything. And in this position, why can't we check the leader? Like, that's the thing. It's crazy. Nobody can work safely. Nobody. Yes. And then the way the unions pretend that they suddenly don't understand power. Right. When the union is all about power, it's all about that. Period. You know, I'm here for, like, I get it, but like, it seems like it can be very cultish to a certain degree, right? They're only watching their back. That's all they care about. You're welcome. That's right. And I'm glad she spoke out. It's never too late. Ever. Okay. Okay. So we have to move on to Sheriff Harvey. Sheriff Harvey of TMZ. Hold up, y'all, because it's like this transition is hard after that. And I wanted to at least get some of the details in here for you guys that was being reported because this news broke today. But I mean, I guess it makes you look at unions and, you know, work and stuff like that very much in a different light. You know what I mean? It does. Hold up, y'all. This girl's making me open different things. Why do you make me open all this stuff that I can't even open? Hold up. This one is like stuck. Hold up. This one's better. Here. Thank you. Yeah. Sheriff Harvey. We're moving on. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Unions are not for who they represent. Yeah. So Sheriff Harvey dropped a video just here, okay? And I'm here for it. I haven't watched it, but I'm hearing different revelries. There's also articles that are being dropped. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? The first thing I heard, I haven't even watched this, but what I've already heard is Neo didn't take the fifth. Neo didn't take the fifth. Okay. All right. Let's get into this, okay? Here we go.
There is a big twist in the Celeste Rivas death investigation. Neo, David's close friend, David, remember, is the prime suspect in her disappearance and death. Neo did not take the Fifth Amendment when he testified before the LA County grand jury last month. We have sources with direct knowledge who tell us that he testified freely and answered the questions of DA Beth Silverman. Now, this is odd for a variety of reasons. Remember, Neo testified for only 40 minutes. Beth Silverman is a pit bull when it comes to grilling witnesses. The manager of David was on the stand for 2 days when he testified. She grilled him like a cheeseburger. When he walked out back into the hallway, he was shaking his head. He didn't know what had happened.
Thoughts? Legally fine, not claiming innocence. So he didn't plead the fifth, right? El cucuy. It's el cucuy, right? Diane, thank you so much for the $2. Oh my God, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let me shout out Hells. Thank you so much for your 5-month membership. Thank you, Hells. And Diane, thank you. I love you very much. Thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it. Read the docs TMZ. Okay. So here's the question that I have. He said, proffer, y'all say proffer? Let me go back a little bit because I want to understand. And again, it's 57 seconds in, okay? We're not too far off. I want to make sure I understand what he's saying here.
That he testified freely and answered.
He testified freely. So when he says he testified freely, right? But then again, he was in Montana. So they had to, limo service him from Cali to, they had to bring the limo, right? And pick him up and, make sure that he didn't get lost around the way. I mean, we all saw those pictures, right? What do y'all think?
Months. We have sources with direct knowledge who tell us that he testified freely and answered the questions of DA Beth Silverman. Now, this is odd for a variety of reasons. Remember, Neo testified for only 40 minutes. Beth Silverman is a pit bull when it comes to grilling witnesses. The manager,
this lady has this reputation. I've heard it, right? She has this reputation to be like a certain kind of way and whatnot. But it's like at the same time, when he's describing the approach, are we assuming that she went easy on him, or what are we supposed to assume here?
of David was on the stand for 2 days when he testified. She grilled him like a cheeseburger. When he walked out back into the hallway, he was shaking his head. He didn't know what had happened. It was that aggressive. So when Beth Silverman wants something, she goes for it. Yet she only spent 40 minutes with him. And remember, she ended up getting him arrested in Montana and hauled back to Los Angeles to testify because he had failed to obey the subpoena and appear before the grand jury when he was supposed to. So it seemed like Beth Silverman really had her eyes set on Neo testifying about things that were highly relevant. Otherwise, why would she have gone to those lengths? So when you look at all of that, it seemed like he must have taken the fifth, but he didn't. And we now know that from sources. So now the question is, what did Neo say? We are told not.
Wait. Now we know that from sources. Neo, did you talk to Harvey TMZ? Let me know. Spilled the frijoles was something. He said he's working on the first hand. Neo's going to give the interview to TMZ. We already know. Wait a minute. I'm so like, hold up. TMZ. Let's see. Because apparently, I mean, he's really, yeah, he did not plead. And I'm pulling the article too to see like what else he's saying in writing. Okay. I guess, what do you guys think? What do you guys make of it? He said he did not know anything and he was not involved. So why did he say he has receipts? If you are not involved, you cannot have receipts. That's the question. You said my pause game is on point. Sorry.
Much that he didn't know anything relevant about Celeste Rivas's disappearance or death. That's what happened before the grand jury. Now, Neo has said that he had no involvement in Celeste Rivas's disappearance. We know that law enforcement was really interested in Neo, especially in that mysterious trip that David took in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara last spring.
Okay.
They felt Neo might have been in the car. We've now learned he was not in the car.
They don't feel like he has anything to do with their disappearance. What about her death? That's the question, right? Not disappearance. What about her death? That's the question that we have.
And Neo says that he had no involvement and even no knowledge of what happened to Celeste or David's possible involvement. So testifying for 40 minutes does suggest he doesn't know much. So now the question is this. If Neo didn't know much, explain this mystery. And for us, this is a mystery. On Friday, Neo posted on Instagram this. He said, quote, "There is more to the story than what's on the news." How would he know that? How would he know there's more to the story than what's on the news if he knows nothing about Celeste's disappearance or David's possible involvement?
What? Did y'all see that? Harvey, you know what? I'm going to promote Sheriff Harvey to Detective Harvey. Listen, that's what we were saying. And Arwin, you just said it too, right? How do you know if you don't know? But if you know and you don't know, what the hell is that? Sir, that doesn't make any sense, right? Now, First Liberties Podcast says, well, that makes sense. Receipts show where Neo really was in the event someone falsely accuses him if being involved. That makes perfect sense. Then he may not be at trial. Okay. But how do you know and you don't know? We don't need Harvey for this? No, we figured it out, Catalina. Yes, we did. We figured it out. Okay, we did. Sure did.
That is what's puzzling us. And so the story we got is he testified freely, did not take the fifth, doesn't know anything relevant, yet he said that. So that's what is raising our eyebrows a little bit. But it does seem like Neo is not connected to Celeste Rivas's disappearance based on everything that we now know went down before the grand jury. The final thing we know is the friendship, the close friendship between Neo and David is kaput because Neo called David a blankhead. You can fill in the blank there on his Instagram post Friday.
Okay. I don't need, you know what? This is like a wild card to me, or is it? I don't know. You say, Harvey, congratulations on your promotion. Maybe he has indirect knowledge, like he heard stuff from being involved or something. Okay. So why call him a D-head? Why is it important to end that friendship? Why call him a D-head? Why is it important to end that friendship? Because if you go back, I mean, listen, it's a bit cryptic. I will say that. Neo's post is a bit cryptic. He says, sometimes with loyalty, he gets into the loyalty piece and we could pull it. All right. So if this guy, if Detective Harvey is saying what he's saying accurately, right, that, all of this went down and he didn't plead the fifth, he testified everything that he knew. Okay. So then how could you sit there and say, like, why? I guess that's the question. Like, you wouldn't stand I'm not saying that you have to support your friend's actions, because we don't want that. We don't. But something's off about this completely. You said he probably just called him a D-head to create separation and save his image. Such a specific thing to say, right? Like, okay.
So it seems like there is no love lost there, but it may not matter if and when David is charged with Celeste Rivas's murder, and that seems like it is going to happen, that he will be indicted by the grand jury. That's what we're hearing. So stay tuned, but this one comment on Friday still has us wondering, but everything else tells us Neo had no involvement, and he says nothing relevant.
Hold up.
There,
I want to go back a little bit. This part right here, he kind of, hold up. Let's see. Is it this one?
last spring, they felt Neo might have been in the car. We've now learned
So he wasn't in the car. Okay, this is what he's saying. If you believe
about
TMZ.
Celeste Rivas's disappearance or death. That's what happened before the grand jury. Now, Neo has said that he had no involvement in Celeste Rivas's disappearance. We know that law enforcement was really interested in Neo, especially in that mysterious trip that David took in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara.
But, you know, yesterday, if I remember correctly what Harvey said yesterday, he said something to the effect of like, when Neo wrote about people throwing his name in there and everything, it was about the fact that like his name was brought up in the investigation. He's saying, I got nothing to do with this, and my name is being brought up. Hold up. And now let me go to his words. I think the worst part is that I've told so many people that I trust and I thought knew me as a person, my side of things. Yesterday, Harvey said that people that he was talking to might have linked him to Beth. Beth wanted to talk to him, right? All right. All for that to be thrown out the effing window as soon as I get arrested. So he's trusting people. He gets arrested and something, you know, for whatever reason, people aren't believing. He's saying his side to the people that he trusts, but somehow that might have backfired, right? Maybe those people told Beth. Maybe those people told law enforcement. Okay. As soon as I get arrested and then they slap that D-head's name next to mine. And for the record, the thing I was arrested for, I wasn't even charged. They never filed it, and my warrant was retracted because, retracted. There is more to the story than what's on the news. Well, how would he know that if he has nothing to do with this? You were involved or you weren't involved? How do you know that? If you got nothing to do with this, how would you know that there's more to the story? That doesn't make sense. As far as his side, there's more to the story. Hold up. Let's see. Where's the other message? There was another message there. Maybe I missed it. Anyways, so we go back. Hold up. Close that out. To Harvey real quick.
Last spring, they felt Neo might have been in the car. We've now learned he was not in the car. And Neo says that he had no involvement and even no knowledge of what happened to Celeste or David's possible involvement.
How do you have no involvement? And okay, I'll give you no involvement, but how do you not have any knowledge of what happened if you're telling TMZ or you're telling in your post that, and I quote, they never filed it, and my warrant was retracted because there is more to the story. He said that it's because there's more to the story than what's on the news. That's why his warrant was retracted.
So testifying for 40 minutes does suggest he doesn't know much. So now the question is this. If Neo didn't know much, explain this mystery. And for us,
maybe it's a typo. He really should have just had his attorney write a statement. You said his lawyer probably didn't like that more to the story statement, and that's one of the reasons they try to clean it up out later. But see, Neo, 9-1 Darby, this what happened when Neo put that statement out. He said that that TMZ did not read the full statement, so that's why he had to put it on social media. They gave the statement to TMZ, right? Arwen says he also said he is collaborating or cooperating. Collaborating in what if he is not involved? His use of language makes no sense. It really doesn't, honestly. It's a bit off, in my opinion. Now, hold up, guys. Hold up. Let's see.
Is a mystery. On Friday, Neo posted on Instagram this. He said, quote, "There is more to the story than what's on the news." How would he know that? How would he know there's more to the story than what's on the news?
You wouldn't know
if he knows nothing about Celeste's disappearance or David's possible involvement.
That's, that's why Harvey got promoted today. Literally, like what could we be missing?
That is what's puzzling us. And so the story we got is he testified freely, did not take the fifth, doesn't know anything relevant, yet he said that. So that's what is raising our eyebrows a little bit. But
well, what part of Kimura, what part do you think is hearsay? Let me know what you guys think. What part of do you think is in all of this? Again, is his version. I mean, I don't know. I'm just repeating what he said. What part is hearsay? I guess that's the question that I have for you. Diana, thank you so much for becoming a member, and thank you so much for this $20. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you, love, and thank you again for your membership. Shout out to you, James. Thank you for the super sticker. I have emotional constipation. I haven't given it ish in days. James, shout out to James. I'm gonna have to use that one, James. I'm emotionally constipated. I haven't given an ish in days. That's funny. But yeah, anyways, y'all are funny. A Harvey promotion. Okay, let me see what you guys say. Like everything TMZ says is hearsay, and they're always wrong. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I was trying to get at like what part is hearsay? He is saying he's talking directly to a source with Neo. I mean, I'm not putting words in his mouth. He said that, right? But it's off. Like, I will have to say this. There is something off. If TMZ sources are saying that Neo had nothing to do with this, he didn't plead the fifth, okay. But how can you say that and then in one breath also say in your Instagram post that there's more to the story than what's on the news? There's a contradiction there that I think is very obvious that we need to maybe, well, what does that even mean? You said, I think the source is Neo's mom. Potentially. You said everything. You said everything, Rabbit. Everything. I got you. TMZ switches up all the time, right? Ain't that the truth? You said Harvey's always making shit up to sound juicy. I have zero doubt that David was more than likely manipulating Celeste. Multiple people including Neo. You think that, Yanni, you think that D4VD or David was manipulating his own friends too? I mean, I don't know him personally, but I do have to wonder what went from there. Again, he said in his own words, hold up, let me see. NeoTheAsian. I want to go back to one that he also posted on Friday. Post about loyalty. He said something about I'm loyal, I'm this, I'm that. Is this it? Hold up. This might be it right here because I think Lauren has them all. Nope. I'm going to try to pull it, y'all. Because he said something about loyalty. I remember. Here's the thing. Worst part of all, the D head, yada, yada, yada. I remember there was more to this. It wasn't just this. Give me 1 second. Nope. I might have to go back to my video that I did like 2 days ago or 3 days ago because that might have it. And I don't see that posted. I don't even see that TMZ has it anymore at all. So let me see if I can pull it real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. Live. I think we did that. Was that on Friday? It was on Friday. What day was Friday? Friday was March 13th. Okay. Let's see. Let's pull it. I think it was this one. Yeah. Hold up. This is where he first announced that they weren't friends anymore. And he said, here it is. This one is the one that's missing. Thankfully, I'm legally fine in every way. And boy, do I got the receipts. Okay, that was a message there. For whatever reason, TMZ is not showing that message anymore in their article. I don't know why. And then he went from that to, hold up. Where'd it go? Here it is. I think the worst part, we read this one. And then there was another one. That I remember one where he talked about loyalty. Where's that one? Do I show the messages? Maybe I don't. Yeah, where do they go? Okay. We're missing messages. I know I'm not making this up. I remember him saying that there was a message out there where he talked about how loyal he was, and sometimes it takes him a minute or whatever because of his loyalty and stuff like that. I remember that. I'm not making that up. I know I saw it. Instagram post. Has that been removed? I do wonder about that. Now this is interesting. See if I can find it. This is going to bother me. Me and my lawyer were actually planning to make a statement soon, but obviously is best of the time since TMZ decided to leave out the actual full statement. I remember this. Remember this. We talked about this. Now, this is one that we've already shown. We're not going to go there. So there was another one too. Damn, I think they made it like disappear. I remember reading one. I know I'm not going crazy because he says I have the receipt. Hold up. So effing happy. I'm moving out of this effing state. Sick of the drama, sick of the fake people, and sick of the shitty status culture where people care more about money and clout than the basic level of human connection. When did he post that? Look at this. See, how come we missed this one? Hold up, y'all. Okay, look at this one. This was 4 days ago. So effing happy. I'm moving out of this effing state. 4 days ago. Sick of the drama, sick of the fake people, sick of the shitty situation. Shitty ass status culture where people care more about money and clout than the basic level of human connection. When did he? This was one I didn't even see. Did y'all see this one? I hadn't even seen this one. I remember the one that for whatever reason, the one that stands out to me is the loyalty one, because we were talking about it pretty extensively here. We were talking about it pretty extensively. Now, this one's interesting. Did y'all see this one? Because I had not seen this one. I had not seen this one. This was 4 days ago. He sent it to me on Discord. How come I missed it? I'm sorry. Floyd Joe, had you seen this one too? See, I don't remember seeing that one, the status one. Where's the loyalty one? Nope, that's not in the screenshots. I could have sworn I saw it. Maybe I'm making it up. I think the worst part, people trusted me. I trusted people and effing ruined. And then I'm being slapped next to that D head. That's it. Okay, I'm definitely going crazy because I remember seeing one that said something about loyalty. Okay, then I must be going crazy. I thought I saw one that said that. He's sick of the drama. He's the one bringing it. I don't even remember seeing the sick of the drama. That's what I thought too. Maybe I did read it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Now it's kind of like, that's going to bother me. Okay, hold up. Now, that being said though, it does kind of make you wonder though, like what's with does he know? Does he not know loyalty? Maybe I didn't, because I don't even see the word loyalty in my search anymore. I think I'm going crazy. It's all good. Okay, let me go back. So some may write about this. Something's off, in my opinion. I don't know. But I will say, even though I don't always agree with Harvey on stuff, that's one thing that I do feel like there is an inconsistency. Either you know about what happened or you don't. Like, you can't have it both ways. Either you know or you don't. One or the two. Something's, off. I know I'm losing it. I swear to God that I saw something that said something about loyalty. Okay, he said he was loyal to his mindset. Mona Lisa, yes. Why can't I find that statement? Hold up. He did say that, right? Something about, I remember loyalty. Loyal to his mindset. Hold up. We gonna find it. We're gonna find it. Nope. Hold up. I understand that due to my silence, and the silence is in general leaves a void of information that everyone wants to fill. But at the end of the day, this case isn't about me. It isn't about you. It's about getting justice for the victim. Here we go. I think this might be it here. I think we found it. Oh, no. It took me to a nudie site. Sorry, y'all. That's not where I'm trying to go. I don't know why it took me there. Here it is. Is this it? This might be it. He did say something loyalty. That's why I was like, wait. So are you loyal to this? Here it is. Silence. But at the end of the day, this isn't about me. It's about you. It's about getting justice for the victim and her family. And I care more about them than try to fill the void of public opinion. I've stayed loyal. Thank you to my mindset. And I will continue to. I'm not publicly going to give any opinion or emotion about this case because I find it disrespectful and not my place to weigh in on, especially as it's ongoing. I'm not going to spam posts to justify and perform my feelings and thoughts for the internet, trying to satisfy people who have already made up their minds about me. Okay. In time, the record will speak for itself, and I'm moving on with my life. That's what he said. He did say loyal, and I quote, I don't want to misquote, but this is what he said. At the end of the day, this case is about me. It's about getting justice for the victim. I care a lot more about than trying to fill in a void. Here it is. I've stayed loyal to my mindset, and I will continue to. Mona Lisa, thank you because I was like, I know I'm not going. She says something about loyalty and mindset and something or loyalty. Thank you. Yeah, I like skipped it, Flojo. I was like reading fast. The search in Gemini. I said Neo's warrant is a material witness warrant. Material witness, other evidence, admissible. So that means he knows something good. Okay. He can't speak on it, but the record will speak for itself. Okay. What's the mindset, though? Loyal to, where's his mindset at? That's the question. So then when Harvey says here, he was a material witness, right? And Harvey says here, well, he testified and everything, but how do you say, and I would agree, how do you contradict yourself there? How? Story
Than what's on the news.
You have to know stuff if you're a material witness, right? You have to have known what there's something clearly there. Like you did testify, whether it was 15 minutes or 45 minutes, he did, right? So he knows something.
News. How would he know that? How would he know there's more to the story than what's on the news if he knows nothing about Celeste's disappearance or David's possible involvement? That is what's puzzling us. And so the story we got is he testified freely, did not take the fifth, doesn't know anything relevant, yet he said that. So that's what is raising our eyebrows a little bit. But it does seem like Neo is not connected to Celeste Rivas's disappearance based on everything that we now know went down before the grand jury. The final thing we know is the friendship, the close friendship between Neo and David is kaput because Neo called David a blankhead. You can fill in the blank there on his Instagram post Friday. So it seems like there is no love lost there.
So does this make you guys view Neo differently? Where do you guys stand with Neo on this one? Material witness? Kind of wondering. What do you guys think?
But it may not matter if and when David is charged with Celeste Rivas's murder, and that seems like it is going to happen, that he will be indicted by the grand jury. That's what we're hearing. So stay tuned. But this one comment on Friday still has us wondering.
Yeah.
But everything else tells us Neo had no involvement, and he says nothing relevant.
Okay. Whatever no involvement means, right? But where do you guys stand? Now, I did see that Matt posted this. Let me hit the like button. Make sure you guys check him out. He posted this, and I'm like, again, yesterday we were talking about the underage, victims and everything that's going on here. He also made mention of it as well in this video. Let's get into this.
Been working the case of David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez, has made a post basically saying that he strongly believes that law enforcement could in fact charge David with lesser charges, such as concealing a runaway / minor from their parent, as well as having a relationship with a minor as an adult. And then theoretically, they could stack a murder charge on top of those other charges if they do obtain enough probable cause to charge him with that. He goes on to say that the odds that David did not know Celeste was a minor are extremely slim. He says that David and Celeste both appeared in the Delete Everything, which is this video right here, in January of 2024, before she first ran away. And then remember,
these little connections and ties are something else. You said, I think there could really be another person who was with David in Santa Barbara. He didn't even know who Chase Keith was a few days ago. But I thought that they had a picture together. Mona Lisa, I thought there was like a picture of them together. Pretty sure. Diane, I don't see your profile pic, love. I only see a D. You said the letter D. You said I was hooked on phonics out loud on the porch. I still think, something could have had some sort of involvement. It wasn't actually. I don't know, man. He knew Chase, yeah, because there's a picture of them together. There's like the three of them are together in a picture. Unless that's AI. Maybe something else. I don't know, man. I don't know.
On February 14th, she reportedly went out with David and then was reported missing on February 15th. And let's also not forget that video of a teacher at Celeste's school who was talking about how Celeste was found at a home in the Hollywood Hills with a celebrity. So essentially, people knew who Celeste was hanging out with, and David knew who he was hanging out with as well. Well, the PI says that back in October of 2025, he requested the investigative file from authorities regarding any witness and suspect interviews related to Celeste staying with David at his rental home in the Hollywood Hills. He says that about a month later, in November of 2025, he got confirmation that these files did in fact exist, but that they could not send them to him. And most likely during authorities' interview with David, he was informed that Celeste was a minor if he wasn't already aware prior, which essentially means that anytime David was around Celeste after this, he was harboring a minor, abducting a minor in the legal context. So that's just an example of two of the lesser charges that David could be charged with if law enforcement cannot get him for murder. He also says that he has proved that there was an illegal ongoing relationship that David was facilitating with another minor at the exact same time that this was ongoing with Celeste.
And I honestly think that we do. If it's not this, it needs to be something else. Let's see. Hold up. I said it before. I'll say it again. His friends knew her and family. Everyone's just scared of the consequences. Everybody throws each other under the bus when things get faced down. Oh, you said we didn't know who. Okay, I was like, I think they knew each other. I'm sorry, Mona Lisa. Shout out to you. I apologize for misreading your comment. He knew Chase. They were in the video together. That's right. Yeah. I misread Mona Lisa's comment. Sorry about that. So if he gets immunity, when do we find out? That's a great question. I don't know. I have no idea. But that's a great question. I think wouldn't it be kind of evident if he does get immunity? There's no way David didn't know that she was a minor. Well, and then they're talking about multiple minors. Like what? Multiple? Not just Celeste, multiple.
Says that proof includes a statement from this particular minor as well as dozens of photos of David with this minor. He also says that he's aware of a third minor that David was involved with around this time as well. Now, many of the things that this PI is saying is true in present day are things that we have already kind of seen through blind items that have been revealed in the months past. For example, a post made on September 19th, 2025 says that David bragged about how he has hundreds of hours of CSAM that he has recorded with underage girls. On September 26, 2025, a post
Oh.
alleges that David was running a string of underage girls and filming
Girl, I don't even remember. It's a blind item, so take it for. I don't even remember that. Jesus. Now it just makes you wonder if there's any truth to any of those. I mean, if they're finding minors and contacts and stuff like that, oh my God.
them. The buzz is that the girl died during the making of a movie where a person ends up dead. On September 30th, 2025, a post was made saying police are investigating 2 other missing underage girls that were seen with David. And then we see a recent post on January 24th, 2026 saying the friend of David wasn't on the run from police. Seems like they're talking about Neo, but the people who want to kill him for what he knows. Neo recently spoke out in an attempt to clear his name, but then recently clear his social media accounts completely. Obviously, it's possible that not all of the information in these blind item reveals are true, but
Very
it is
true.
interesting to see that as time goes on,
Some of the things that have come up, that's a good point. And it's true, take a blind item for what it's worth, the information and whatnot. I think it's something to kind of keep in mind. Could be hit or miss with the blind item, okay?
some of what has been posted is actually turning out to be true after all. Let me know what you guys are thinking about all of this in the comments, and make sure you're following me for more updates and information on this case.
Shout out
The PI
to Matt. I have a lot of dude, I don't know, man. It's just too much. Now I'm gonna see if SF has posted anything else. Oh my God. And I think this is the other part too. It's getting so close to like, oh shit, what did he say about Harvey? It's getting very close to, we might be finding some answers here pretty soon, guys. There's that. SF posted something 22 hours ago. He says, I don't understand why Harvey from TMZ is now pushing this narrative that Neo, referring to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, since he still won't use her name as a victim, is somehow significant. According to Harvey, this is something everyone missed except him. He believed the medical examiner has not determined a cause of death, and it could still be an accidental overdose. But Neo calling her a victim supposedly suggests otherwise. We don't need Neo for that. Harvey, we didn't overlook anything. We just know how to think critically. Oh my God. Ooh. I did not read this. Nobody told me it had all this spice in it. Oh my. Ooh. I was like, oh my God, I didn't read this. SF is not wrong. He's not wrong, okay? First, I 100% believe that the medical examiner has determined a cause of death. Otherwise, there would have been no need for an ex parte hearing to seal the medical examiner records. Remember, you guys even said this yesterday. It's like, how do we know OD unless we don't already know a cause of death? I'm having the more you know moment. And this is what we said yesterday too. We're like, well, how do you, like, isn't that kind of like, who was it that said it? Because even Mar said, check Jane's comment, and we did. We had a the more you know moment. And I was like, oh, well, then what is the issue? They probably know, they just haven't said anything, right? Okay, let's keep going. So let's see. We know how to create anything. First, I 100% believe. Hold up, y'all. I got somebody at my door. Give me 1 second. Hold up, guys. Sorry about that. Now Harvey is not promoted. He's been demoted. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry, he's not promoted. He's been demoted. He says, we don't need Neo for that, Harvey. We didn't overlook anything. We just know how to think critically. First, I 100% believe the medical examiner has determined a cause of death. Otherwise, there would have been no need for an ex parte hearing to seal the medical examiners. Second, I think overdose was on the table for many of us early on, but the Texas filing clearly indicated otherwise. It explicitly states 1 count of murder in violation of Penal Code 187A. Penal Code 187A defines murder as the unlawful killing of a human being with malice aforethought. Malice aforethought means intent to kill. Okay? An accidental overdose combined with dismemberment of a body does not meet the standard of malice aforethought. While a death could potentially be charged as a form of homicide if someone provides the drugs, if there was no intent to kill beforehand, it would not qualify as murder under Penal Code 187A. Yet, that is the only charge listed in the filing. This is also a significant indicator that the medical examiner has determined both the cause and manner of death. It just hasn't been made public, okay? If they had not, it is likely the charge would reflect a different type, homicide, not murder under 187A. Ooh. Damn. Okay, SF. Okay, SF. You said, I think Celeste, I mean, that's a good point. You know what I mean? You said, look at all, y'all retracting the y'all removed the promotions? So he went back from detective to sheriff. Isn't that how it works? I don't know how the chain works, y'all. I don't know how the chain works. But you guys removed the No. Y'all are bad. But I mean, this is a good point. You know, what do you guys make of it? You said, look at the retraction of the promotions. I think Celeste learned about the other relationship. She threatened to tell him, and everyone decided. Well, go back to what the teacher said. The teacher said something to the effect that he was being blackmailed. You take your congratulations back. You said this will not be ruled an accident. There's too much sophistication involved. This will be pursued under 187A till the end. There you go. So even if we don't know how she died, I mean, it's already ruled under. Harvey will be issuing parking tickets in the TMZ parking. Stop. Don't say that. Listen, Harvey and Harvey supporters, don't put any voodoo on us. We're literally just reporting the news.
I don't want no voodoo on me. Please don't put no voodoo on me. I'm a very I'm a Christian, so that probably wouldn't scare me, but please don't do that to me.
Don't put any voodoo on us at all, okay? You know, the TMZ voodoo, all right? Shout out to everybody in the chat. But no, honestly, like you said, is he a practice? He's not practicing, isn't it? He's not practicing. You said, yeah. No voodoo, yeah. No, not on me, okay? Not the TMZ voodoo, not the bad stuff. Steve knows his ish. Something happened, man. We rebuke. Yes, we do. Y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hold up. We're dropping links to what? I'm sorry. Let's see. This will not be ruled an accident. We read this. I seriously do not want to hear accidental overdose ever again. But it's being said, though. Why is Harvey promoting that? That's the question. That's the question I had. Like, why are you promoting that? Why are you saying that? You know? That's what we want to do. I don't know, man. Criminal trials do not have to be scientific. We only need advice outside of speech alone that a crime has happened. The evidence doesn't need to be perfect, but reasonable. There you go. But he's putting that out there, though. He was the one who said it yesterday. I mean, I'm not putting words in his mouth. So it does make you wonder, well, what is he? Is he assuming or what? I don't know. It leaves a lot of confusion. Even if she was overdose, it's still insane the way that they try to get rid of her. Well, and why wouldn't they charge with the mutilation of a corpse, or a body? How come it's murder, but also like that's also a felony in itself. Like those things, unless it wasn't him and it was somebody else who did that for him. So he doesn't bear that charge, right? Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe he's pushing a certain narrative because it's involving the music industry. There you go. You said Sheriff Harvey should get a job at Disneyland. Belen. You said more charges can be added, I guess. That's the question. It's like, why the mutilation of a body is a thing too. That's a charge in itself. It's a felony. Maybe the reason he doesn't have it because he wasn't the one that, did it. Yeah, I assume everything that Harvey Levin says is straight up for distraction or cover up or whatever agenda. Well, I mean, Mona Lisa, we do have to I can give him this, right? He did, he rightfully did put out the information about the fact that, they identified her and then they told her mom, right? So I can't just say that everything that's been off, that he's been getting it. That's not really accurate, right? There's some stuff that he was able to get correct, but there's some stuff that I have a lot of questions about, like the whole freezer thing. They kind of dropped that. They don't talk about that anymore, right? They don't mention that anymore. But I have to kind of wonder about this other side too of like, well, you're putting out there that she OD'd. Okay, so if she OD'd, then we already know the cause of death. We can assume the cause of death, that she was murdered. Okay. But then also the other question that I have is, why haven't they also added the part of what is it? The mutilation of the body in that situation. Why have they added that? Why not that? That's the question that I have too. I mean, that's because that would be a whole different charge and felony in itself. No? Just a question. I don't know, man. I could be wrong. Thoughts? Opinions? I don't know, man. Let me see. Hold up. Let me make sure that okay. You said he's the magician saying, look at this to confuse us. Is it confusion that he's trying to cause? The Buick family was summoned in relation to the 187 charge, but that doesn't mean that it's the only charge at stake. It's the only charge that's being mentioned, right? I think he's pushing the OD accidental because of his relationship with D4VD's lawyer. Changing the narrative, it's not the first time. Wouldn't be the first time, right? I don't know, man. Something's off. Yeah, that's a felony. It's a whole charge. Now, did he do it or did somebody else do it? I think it's a good point of like, a conversation about, well, if there are other victims, and again, I'm assuming, I don't know, this is what has been pointed out. I don't have the evidence to say that there's minor victims, but based on everything that we've seen on the Discord and other people that are kind of directly investigating or involved or, something to that effect, there might be, reason to believe that this could be a thing, right? That there might be other minor victims. And it does make you wonder. I have a lot of questions, but we don't know at this point. Okay. They can only try him once. This case needs to be perfect, and the DA knows it. Yeah, Tartar, is it Tar? Shout out to you. I agree. We want him to get it perfect, right? We want there to be a successful, I've said this before, due process, successful. He's allowed to defend himself. I may not be a fan, but that is how our system is set up, and that's what we want. We want people to defend themselves. We want people to, because we don't want 10 or 15 years later along lines, well, there was a technicality here and it gets overturned. We don't want that. We do not want that, right? Yeah. What if David took her life and someone else? Maybe. Remember that there's a lot of speculation that D4VD didn't act it alone. Yeah. It's true. Very true. Well, guys, I'm going to have to head out because I got to go tend to baby bunny. I really appreciate everybody's support today. Thank you for the new members. Thank you for those that became a member. Shout out to everybody that is becoming OG members. I got to tend to baby bunny because I could hear her. If anything else happens, we're definitely going to go live. I'll probably be live later tonight too. Okay, honey. I got to go, guys, because she's doing the most. Bye, guys. Say bye. I got to go. Bye, guys.